On the show in Wheelspin, we drive the Audi TTS. In Wheelspin, we also ride the recently launched Hyosung Aquila 250. And on the road, we drive the Mercedes S-Class to the Queen of the Hills, Mussorie. If you are an hedonist, you should be driving something like this. The Audi TT was born to satiate man's need for speed and beauty. If it's a beautiful day and you have an open road ahead of you, you need something like this. If a sports car is what your heart desires, then your fingers should be pointing in the direction of this Audi TT. It's lightweight, it's compact, and it's drop-dead gorgeous. And also it has adequate power to make you feel that you are really behind the wheels of a true sports car. The Audi TT was born at the turn of the century to impress upon the world that Audi too could make some stylish cars. And it did prove the point as it rolled out of J. May's design studio, the designer who in a way put Audi in the design forefront during his stint at Audi. The TT was compact, stylish with flowing lines, and in short, what an affordable sports car should be like. At the time of its launch, many power-starved drivers blamed it for its lack of performance and also being too petite, which implied it was only meant for the wimps. But times changed, and today the TT has evolved in every way. What I have with me here today is the Audi TT with the S badging. The S stands for the competition or the sports pack, which in turn means that the car comes with black bumpers, the black 17-inch alloy wheels, the mirrors surround here too in black, and as you walk towards the rear of the car, the twin exhaust and the rear spoiler too in black. All this black garnishing has really made the car stand out and, in my opinion, a little more attractive. What I really like about this Audi TT is its compact size, and this is what makes it so easy to drive even on an everyday basis and in city traffic. And there is adequate power coming from under the bonnet. Every time you find an open stretch of road and you blip the throttle, the traffic behind you becomes an instant blur, and I like that. This TT is powered by a 2-liter petrol engine which churns out 211 brake horsepower. Now, you might say that this is not enough for a sports car. But if you say that, you're forgetting that this engine is mounted on an extremely light body. The body is made out of aluminum and it weighs only about 206 kgs. And this translates into a very nice power-to-weight ratio. Manages to do the 0 to 100 km sprint in just a shade over 5.5 seconds, and that's not too bad for a car this size. The engine is mated to a 6-speed S-tronic transmission which transfer power to the wheel through an automatic transmission which you can also shift into a manual mode. And you have paddle shifts here for the quick shifts. If you really want to catch the action in this Audi TT, you have to switch on to the sports mode and see the juices flow. The suspension stiffens up and the engine power is remapped and it becomes a whole lot more linear and fast and furious and a true sports car. And the exhaust note also changes. In fact, it becomes audibly louder when you put it into the sports mode. And I feel that is only for good, because otherwise the exhaust sounds a bit too insipid. I would have preferred a slightly louder exhaust. This TT also comes with what Audi calls the Quattro or the all-wheel drive system. What the Quattro does is pretty simple. In case it detects any slippage on any of the wheels, it instantly supplies power, making it an all-wheel drive car. For normal, everyday use, power is fed only to the two front wheels. Over the years, the car has evolved so much that I must truly confess that I've started liking this quite a bit. Okay, it's not a supercar which will do 0 to 100 in the blink of an eye. Instead, it takes a shade over 5.5 seconds, which in itself is not bad enough. And then it also handles quite well with the Quattro system. And in fact, there is a bit of practicality thrown in. The interiors of this Audi TT is quite inviting, and keeping to its sports cars tradition, is quite sporty. The nice chunky leather-wrapped steering wheel design in Formula 1 style feels quite good to hold. So is the sporty instrumentation with chrome ring dials, and the aluminum pedals here add to that touch. The bolstered seats holds you in place during tight cornering, and the best part is that the TT also comes with 2 race seats. Okay, they are cramped and I don't think I will be able to get in there, but that's good enough for a toddler or a small pet. There is a boot with 270 liters of space, which might come in handy if you drive out of town for your overnight bag. But the best part of driving this is the way she looks. If you want heads to turn in your direction, this one will do it for you with ease. The Audi TT line is priced at over Rs 57 lakhs in Mumbai. And this comes complete with the sports pack. And for a sports car which can flaunt both its looks and performance, this is not unreasonable, especially considering that there is no other sports car available in India in this price band. As I told you in the beginning, if you are slightly hedonistic and you want to make pleasure a part of your life, then look no further. This TT here should do the trick. She's compact, she's fun to drive, and absolutely gorgeous to look at. And what I really like about her is the air of practicality. She has 2 seats in the back, a boot, okay, a small one, but then a boot is a boot, and a high enough ground clearance. She doesn't really scrape against all the speed breakers, which can't be said about the other high-performance sedans in this bracket. So if you have outgrown the sedans and the compacts in your life and you want to get a car which is fun to drive and turn heads in your direction, and yet it will not cost you as much as a supercar will, then you will do well to have a look at this one.
Hyosung has just added spice to the 250cc motorcycle segment in the Indian market with its latest offering, the Aquila 250. Now, the bike was launched at the recently held Auto Expo in Noida and has attracted a lot of attention from motorcycle enthusiasts across the country. Now, what is this bike all about? Let's just take a look. This is an all-out cruiser motorcycle, and it's easy to see why. Wide pullback handlebars, a big fat fuel tank that swoops down into this nice cushioned and comfortable step seat. Everything about this motorcycle just oozes one word, and that's cruiser. Further adding to this appeal is the chrome. There's loads of it everywhere. The headlight, the instrument pods, the front forks, the engine casing, and the massive 2-in-1 exhaust. Everything is just smothered with chrome that does give it that attention-grabbing detail. Getting comfortable on the Aquila 250 is easy, and the riding position is exactly what the doctor ordered. One sits low with the handlebars high and the foot pegs positioned at just the right distance to ensure fatigue-free long-distance riding. The switchgear on the handlebars is easy to reach, and although the switches are functional, I do believe that their fit and finish and ease of use could have been a lot better. The backlit instrument pods look classy with the red needles, but the panel housing the indicator lights and other warning lights feels out of place for this premium bike. That said, These little sore points don't really take anything away from this bike, because what matters most is how she behaves on the road, and she behaves beautifully. Now we all know that ride comfort and handling do not go hand in hand. Strangely, that fact does not hold true for this Aquila. I found it relatively easy to flick the bike from side to side, and changing lanes and lines even at high speeds was confidence inspiring. The bike feels eager to lean into corners and will soon make you forget that this is a cruiser and not a sports bike. I guess the eagerness of the bike is amplified by a free-revving, stress-free V-twin. Although the bike will rev up to 10,500 RPM, I really didn't feel the need to go there. Changing gears at 5,000 RPM is sufficient to provide the punch and keeps the bike in the power band. But even in the 5th gear, there's enough and more torque available from as low as 3,000 RPM that one does not need to downshift to get ahead. Just twist the throttle and away you go. This again adds to the cruiser image of the bike, and one does not really need to be tap dancing on the gear shifter to get a move on. Now this is the only 250cc bike in the country that comes with a V-twin engine. Now this oil-cooled motor puts out about 26 bhp of power and a maximum torque of 21 Newton meters at 7,000 RPM. Now helping to put all this power on the road is a constant mesh 5-speed gearbox, and I found that during our ride, the gear throws themselves, well, they're pretty short and it's very easy to shift from one cog to another. Add to that a very light clutch, and it makes for a very relaxed and stress-free driving even in crowded city-type traffic conditions. The ride of the Aquila 250 is what won me over. Our roads are not the best in the world, and the Aquila is tuned for that. The combination of telescopic forks at the front and the hydraulic dual shocks at the back, along with the high-profile tires, are responsible for a rewarding ride. The Aquila 250 is a bike that ticks almost all the boxes. It looks good, rides well with a very forgiving suspension setup that handles all the bumps and potholes in its stride without really affecting the handling and agility of this bike. But I just wish it had come with a rear disc setup as well instead of the drum one, because frankly, for a bike costing as much as this one does, it definitely deserves it. But apart from that, it's difficult to find fault with this good looking machine, and it's definitely bound to stir things up in its segment.
I left Delhi early this morning and I'm on my way to what is known as the Queen of the Hills, a pretty little hill station nestled in the beautiful Garhwal Mountains. And you must have guessed it by now. I'm on my way to Mussorie, and this time I'm going to go business class. I'm driving this S500 Mercedes Benz, which was recently launched in India. Now I can't just wait to get in behind the wheels. Mussorie is located about 290 kilometers north from the national capital of New Delhi and is situated at the foothills of the Garhwal Himalayan ranges. And the travel time from Delhi is around 6 hours. And the route is through Meerut, Muzaffarnagar after taking a bypass before entering the town of Roorkee. This S500 is an absolute pleasure to drive. The long bonnet there houses a 4.7-litre V8 which churns out over 450 brake horsepower and 700 Newton meters of torque. Just what the doctor prescribed for a nice highway drive. And that's not all. This car has all the creature comforts you can think of, including a sound system which has 24 Burmester speakers. You can have a blast, literally.
you I was going to go business class. Perhaps you didn't believe me. It's not every day that I change my seat from behind the wheel to the rear seat, but today I was tempted to do so, and you can see why. Plush leather with reclining seats, a footrest to boot, foldable tables in case I decide to work, and a private entertainment system. And if that is not all, then I have got this, the remote for the massage. The seats offer me massage till I don't reach Mussorie, and that's quite nice. Movie, massage, what more do I want really? Truly business class, isn't it?
Mussorie is situated at an average altitude of 1,880 meters, and with its green hills and varied flora and fauna is a fascinating hill resort. Commanding snow ranges to the northeast and glittering views of the Doon Valley and Shivalik ranges in the south, the town presents a pretty picture of what a hill station should be. In 1832, Mussorie was the intended terminus of the Great Survey of India that began at the southern tip of India. Although unsuccessful, the Surveyor General of India wanted to have the new office of the Survey of India based in Mussorie. A compromise was to have it in Dehradun, where it is still located. The name Mussorie is derived from the name of a shrub, Mansoor, which grows here.
So I finally make it to Mussorie, a charming little place surrounded by hills and valleys on all sides. A beautiful sight indeed, and you can spend the entire day looking out onto the hillsides. But there are also other things to do in case you just tired of looking at the hills, and that is you can go out on numerous walks, because this place is full of walking trails, and you can also go and visit the nearby Kempty Falls, which actually is just what I'm going to do next.
The distance from Mussorie to Kempty Falls is around 14 kilometers, and the route winds its way through beautiful pine tree-lined roads and undulating hills. We get our first glimpse of the waterfalls long before we reach there. The sight of the majestic falls as it cascades down the hillside is a captivating sight.
I'm here at a place which is the biggest attraction of Mussorie, the Kempty Falls. This is from where the Kempty Falls start. It flows down the mountainside and drops from a great height, becomes a wonderful sight, and I strongly recommend that if you are in Mussorie, you must come and have a look at it. Later on, this falls flows down as the Kempty River.
After spending time at the Kempty Falls and soaking in the sight of a majestic waterfall tumbling down the hillside to rivet onlookers with its beauty, we head back once again for Mussorie.
If you love nature and you are in Mussorie, one of the places you must visit is this, the Company Bagh. This is a huge garden which is full of trees, it's green with blooming flowers, and even an artificial lake where you can go boating. It's a place where you can go picnicking all day or just laze around.
Mussorie at this time of the day was busy with its regular stream of tourists as well as the locals going about their business. The Mall Road was the scene of most of these activities, and as to be expected is packed with shops, eating places and the library standing at the end of it, which with its old colonial structure provides a glimpse of what Mussorie might have been when it was built.
For many hill stations, the mall roads are what are the nerve centers, and for this town of Mussorie, this is no different. The mall road here is what is the life and soul of this small town. You can spend hours walking here or shopping for knickknacks. If you love to have solitary walks in the hillsides with the pine trees for your company, then Mussorie might just be the place for you. There are many walking trails here and the Camelback Road is one of them. It's a long stretch of road, and by the time you come to the end of it, you will see a rock formation which resembles the back of a camel, hence the name. After spending a weekend in Mussorie, I can tell you this is an ideal kind of a place for a short vacation. It has everything you might need. Plenty of places to stay, right from budget to luxury, lots of things to do, and above all, Mussorie is beautiful. Needless to say, I had a wonderful time here, and what made it even more memorable is my driving companion here, the Mercedes Benz S500, which ensures that not only you arrive in style, but you also arrive as fresh as you left.